Hey guys, thanks for clicking. So today we're going to do a little hydro service on one of our smaller zero turns. It's a Ferris, I think. And we're going to show you step by step how we do it and how long it takes and pretty much how much it costs and how often you should do it. So let's take a look at the machine and see what we have to do to get it done. All right. Here it is. This is our little Ferris 48. Great little machine. Fits in lots of small spots. We actually use it a lot more than we thought we would use it. But she's ready for a service. And we're going to, I think we have everything we need. So we're gonna we're gonna back it up. We'll back it up onto these ramps to make everything easy, because once we get under there, I'll show you why. You can use a jack, but the jack sometimes gets in your way. So it's better to use these little ramps if you have them. Get around there, I'll show you. So this is how I like to do it. So I have it up on the ramps here, and that gives us nice access, and then you just flip up your seat and you can get right to the reservoirs. These are your reservoirs for your hydros, and underneath here, these are your hydros. Ferris machine is a little weird. The hydros they're actually in there backwards compared to most other machines, where the filter's underneath this cover right here. You got serviceable filters on both. They're usually the other way around, but in this machine they're backwards. So you need to get under there, and having it up on the ramps, like I said, leaves this whole area open for you. Makes it a little bit easier. And other thing too, depending on the machine that you have, they have what they call serviceable hydros, which you'll have those two little reservoirs, which I showed you a minute ago. And you'll have screw-off filters. They look just like an oil filter on a car. They'll have those. So that's what you call serviceable pumps. You'll notice right away, now that I pointed it out, you look under your machine, see if it has serviceable pumps. If it does, then depending on how often you use it, it's, different owners' manuals say different things as far as like how often you should change the hydro fluid. I mean, rule of thumb, once a year, whether you use it commercially or not, get it done, get it cleaned up. It's not that much of an investment, and it's a really good insurance policy to make sure that your machine stays top notch. All right, so first things first, we got it up on the ramps. Now we're gonna go under here, we're gonna pop off these filter covers. These are like filter guards. They protect the oil filters so you don't hit anything and they don't break open. So we're gonna pop those off. I'm pretty sure it is two 10mm bolts. We'll get those off and then we'll unscrew the filters, and that's how we're gonna drain the oil out. Okay, so it was two 10mm bolts. And then that leaves the filters easily accessible. And you gotta twist those filters off and get your little drain pan. And that is pretty much how you drain the fluid. I like to warm the machine up a little bit, so drive it around, because if the oil is a little warm, it comes out better. So that's where we're at. We're gonna grab the wrench and we're gonna loosen these up and drain it out. There are your covers. Like I said, they're just like hard plastic covers that protect the filters. And there's your 10mm bolts. Pop right off, nice and easy. Okay, so we got one side done, and we'll put the filter back on. Make sure everything's clean under there, because it is hydraulics. You definitely don't want to get any dirt inside there. And the way the filter is, it collects a lot of dirt in the area. So when you get into there and you pop the filter off, make sure you clean. I'll show you on this one, because I already dropped that one. And then the other thing is, so these are, here it is in the drain bucket here. These are your Hydro Gear commercial filters. I believe they charge about $20 for that filter, the Hydro Gear filter. You can go pretty much to any tractor place. I got these on Amazon's, but these are made by Sten's aftermarket. It's the same exact filter. They're half the price. You could probably even find them cheaper
I mean, I don't know what the difference is. It seems to me that they're all the same filter, but they charge a lot of money. But you know, 2 filters, 20 bucks, $40 just for the filters. That's a lot of money. So I go with the Sten's ones. They're half the price. They work just as good. We use them on all our equipment. Okay, now we're gonna take the other filter off, drain that side. I use these little oil filter, universal oil filter wrench. You can use channel locks, or if you're really strong, you can just spin it off by hand. But this is what I use. You just pop it off, and that is how the hydro system drains out. All right, let's go under here. Small filter, I think. Yeah, I already got it loosened up. So pretty much just twist this off, let it drain out. And there it goes. Okay. Very carefully not to drop my phone in the oil. As you can see, that's the area there. You just want to make sure, you see all the dirt build up around it? See, you just want to go in there after it drains and clean all of that. So I can get in there better. Clean that area up around there, and don't get the dirt inside the pump. Another tip, when you drop, after you drop the filter, then just take the top off of your thing here, and that'll help the air get down there and drain the oil out, the reservoirs. Okay, so we have both sides drained, and we have the new filters installed. Really good time now. This machine is a little difficult to get. I don't know, Ferris just seems to make things a little more difficult than all the other manufacturers, but you want to get up in there and you want to inspect your belt for the hydro. See, it's hidden up there. Check it out, make sure it's not cracked or it doesn't have any seams in it. You can see like this one, the fan looks like it's got some damage. Maybe it caught a stick or something. We should probably replace that fan on that hydro. It's important to keep those things cool. Goes by how many hours or how old the machine is too. You should just change the belt on this, but that's where we're at. Now we'll go up top and we will get these things refilled. Okay, so you got it drained, you got your new filters on, you got it all cleaned up. So next deal is you're gonna refill your reservoirs. Tells you right on here. Most all of them use 2050. Some might tell you synthetic or not. Check your owner's manual, but usually it's just the, I'm using the Kawasaki 2050. And you're gonna fill these reservoirs. These hydros take about 2 quarts each. Most of them are all the same. I think it's even on the bigger machines. I guess it depends on the pump size, but they take about 2 quarts each. So make sure you have 4, maybe 5 quarts of that. And then you're just going to refill the reservoir and slowly let it drain down. There are some different fancy little connectors that Hydro Gear sells that lets the air out and you can get the oil in faster, but I've never done that. You don't need to do it. It works pretty easily. So I'll show you. You just basically fill the reservoir and then it'll slowly just, you know, kind of fill itself up. So keep track of how much you put in each reservoir, and it can take a couple hours to get the oil back in. The job itself is pretty quick to do. I think it took me maybe, really, I was videoing, so it took a little longer, but it takes like 10 minutes to change the oil in there, and it takes a couple hours to get it to go back in. But just bear in mind when you do that, it will take some time. So we'll start filling those reservoirs. All right, and while those are refilling, we'll just put our safety covers back on. And first we'll, visually just check and make sure that nothing's leaking, which it should be fine.
put our covers back on, and then just go with the refill process. All right, so now that we have the bottom all buttoned up, we have the filters back on, and we have the covers bolted, everything is secured down there. So all we're gonna do is refill. Now, it is up on ramps, and it will fill faster if you roll the machine down. So carefully roll the machine down or put a jack under it and take off the ramps. However it is, you can do it without starting the machine because it's not ready to start yet. But it will siphon in faster that way. And once we get it down a little bit more, then I'll show you the process on how to bleed the system. Okay, so a couple little tips too. If you lift up the front of the machine and lift up the back when you start it, it helps let the oil siphon down faster. And the reason I do that is because while that's filling up, I'm sharpening the blades, and I'll clean the deck. You could probably see it. Let's see if we can catch it bubble. Let's see, sometimes. There it goes. See the big bubble? That's just the air coming out as it's siphoning down. If I see another one here, let's see. Like I said, it takes an hour or so. There goes another bubble. See it going? But you don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need any fancy tools. You just you just take a little time, a little patience, and it'll go down. Like I said, keep track of how much you're putting in each one. So I know that's the left, that's the right. It takes about 2 quarts each side because they are separate reservoirs. In the meantime, I will finish sharpening my blades here. I got them pretty nice edge. These blades are shot, but we'll give it another go at them. And I'll clean the deck and put those on, and it'll probably be time to bleed the rest of the system. I'll show you how to do it when we have it on. Okay, so I got the blades done while this was filling up and sharpened and the deck cleaned. So I jacked up the back of the machine. So with the back of the machine, I just get the wheels just off the ground, okay? Because what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bleed the air out of each hydro slowly with the engine on. And we're gonna take the caps. I don't think they spill over, but we lightly, like 1/2 a thread and 1 thread. You don't wanna tighten them down because you want the air to be able to siphon down. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna jump on the machine. We're gonna start it up. We're on the machine. We got it running. We have it jacked up so the wheels are off the ground. And what we're gonna do is the e-brake off. We're just gonna pull in the lever. All right, folks, that's pretty much the whole deal. That's how you do it. You don't need any fancy kind of stuff to do this. Like I said, you can even get those discounted filters. You don't need to overspend on stuff like that. Use the right oil, get it going. Do it the way I showed you to do it. Be a little patient when you're putting the oil in, and it'll go in. There's no magic trick to it. You don't need, unless you need to speed it up for some crazy reason. I don't know why, but now we'll take it for a little test ride. Same thing. We'll go back and forth, left, right. Make sure that all the air comes out of there. And then what I do is overnight, I leave the caps loose overnight. And usually by morning, if one needs a little, because there's a level on those things. They're not to be full. It's usually really low. Leaves room for it to expand. So I think that's about it. Yeah. So with all that being said, if you have any questions, you know what to do. Put them down below. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you, everybody. Happy 4th of July. Peace.